Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. After the third sound from the drum, everyone's minds were filled with its echo. The seat was still vacant, and the distinguished figure everyone was waiting for still hadn't appeared. Just at this moment, a man wearing gold armor walked out from the palace behind the square. He swept the area before finally placing his gaze on the square and shouting, "Demon generals, come out." His voice was like raging thunder as it echoed across the square. All of the gates opened and the various demon generals walked in. These demon generals all had cultivators following them. At this moment, everyone's gazes moved away from the empty seat and toward the demon generals. The Xian vice commander-in-chief opened his eyes and looked at one person among the demon generals with indignation and let out a soft snort. The person he paid attention to was Wang Lin. Wang Lin, while walking behind Mo Lihai, raised his head to look at the Xian vice commander-in-chief before withdrawing his gaze. Mo Lihai frowned as he looked at the empty seat in the distance and muttered to himself, "Strange. Why isn't the demon emperor here yet?" As hundreds of demon generals walked through the sky demon gate in 2 rows, powerful battle intent spread out from them and filled the area. The golden-armored man said, in a low voice, "Following the emperor's order, the rule is the same as usual. It will be conducted by people challenging others." The golden-armored man then slowly said, "Those who are defeated can get their helper to come out, and at the same time, those who won can also retreat and let their helper take their place. Win both rounds and you move on. If it is a win and lose, both sides are disqualified. Also, anyone who wins once in this round can't challenge someone else." His voice wasn't loud, but it entered everyone's ears. Upon hearing this rule, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Although this rule seemed normal, there was a bloodbath hidden within. This bloodbath was in the fact that if you get 1 win and 1 loss, both sides are disqualified. As a result, everyone will do their best to win in this competition. Once you lose the first round, that means the person who lost has already been disqualified. The only thing they can do is get revenge by making the winner lose the second round so both are disqualified. This is not a competition, but a fight to the death. Wang Lin pondered. The golden-armored man spoke once more. "There can be death in the competition, but it can't be the demon generals. Once a demon general has died, then the person who killed the demon general will be killed." Wang Lin frowned and coldly looked at the golden-armored man. Using the competition between demon generals and the slaughter between cultivators to gain a position. If one wants to obtain a position in the demon spirit land, they must be able to walk through the rain of blood. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and silently pondered. "I will pick who starts." The man in golden armor pointed at someone with his right hand. The person he pointed at was a thin man. "Demon General Mu Yun, come out." The person pointed at by the golden-armored man stepped out and walked onto the square. He was wearing armor and was very thin. His eyes were sunken in and his face had a sickly, yellow color to it. He stood there motionless like an ancient pine tree. Mu Yun. This person can be considered top 30 among the demon generals. Rumor has it that he cultivates the 9 deaths 9 lives cultivation method, and that 300 years ago, he had already reached 5 deaths and 5 lives. The first person is so strong. The demon general competition this time is interesting. I wonder who will challenge him. It has to be said that the victor of the first match will attract the attention of the demon emperor. Although the demon emperor isn't here, the report will definitely be sent to him. If no one challenges him in 10 breaths of time, I'll appoint someone. After the golden-armored man spoke, he closed his eyes and no longer said anything. The thin demon general quietly stood there and time slowly passed by. After the fifth breath, a person among the demon generals came out. At the moment Shi Xiao walked out, Demon General Mu Yun's eyes lit up. At the moment he appeared, many people in the crowd exclaimed, "Shi Xiao! Demon General Shi Xiao! His cultivation can be considered top 3. I wonder if it's considered bullying for him to come out. I originally thought that Shi Xiao's opponent should be Mo Lihai. 300 years ago, Mo Lihai left the first scar on Shi Xiao's face. That was the biggest insult Shi Xiao has suffered. Shi Xiao's appearance can only be considered demonic." He walked up to the square and stopped 300 feet before Mu Yun, then he calmly said, "Mu Yun, you are not my opponent. Stand down." Demon General Mu Yun revealed a smile. This smile combined with his looks looked like the smile of a corpse and gave off a very dark aura. "Shi Xiao." Mu Yun's right hand reached out and green gas came out from his fingers. There were sizzling sounds as 5 strands of green gas moved around his fingers like 5 snakes. 5 strands of life and death demonic energy. It looks like you have broken through to the realm of 7 deaths and 7 lives. Shi Xiao looked at Mu Yun, then he shook his head and said, "But it is still not enough." Mu Yun sneered as his right hand reached out. The 5 green snakes twisted and suddenly extended like crazy toward Shi Xiao. As the 5 strands of green gas flew through the air, they created powerful gusts of wind. At the same time, a foul smell filled the air. Many of the surrounding demon generals narrowed their eyes as they stared at the 5 strands of green gas, and their eyes were filled with shock. Shi Xiao shook his head, but his body didn't move. He moved his right hand as he pointed with his index finger, then the middle finger, then the ring finger, and finally he pressed his palm forward. A diamond-shaped light suddenly flew out from Shi Xiao's palm, and collided with Mu Yun's 5 strands of green gas. There was a series of explosions and a powerful force blew sand everywhere. The 5 strands of green gas were immediately destroyed by the diamond-shaped light. At the same time, the diamond-shaped light shot out at an inconceivable speed. It stopped just before Mu Yun's body and exploded. The force created by the explosion caused Mu Yun's face to immediately turn pale. He was forced back several steps and his eyes were filled with surprise. Shi Xiao withdrew his right hand and calmly said, "I said you aren't enough. Your helper can come out." Just as he finished speaking, the ground began to tremble and a person walked out from the crowd of demon generals. This person's body was huge, and he weighed at least hundreds of kilograms. His upper body was naked, and every step he took caused the ground to shake. He arrived before Shi Xiao in 3 steps and grinned. "Little doll, I, the giant spirit sect's esteemed Qianlui, am Demon General Mu Yun's helper." Wang Lin took a look at the fat man. The giant spirit sect was a big sect on planet Qianyun. It was similar to the giant demon sect that focused on raw power. The giant man let out a roar and took a step forward, then celestial spiritual energy came out from the pores in his body and turned into a mist. At this moment, he was hiding inside the mist as he slammed toward Shi Xiao. The ground trembled as if there were tens of thousands of war horses galloping. The figure in the celestial mist moved quickly, and waves of chanting could be heard. Then a mysterious force suddenly surrounded the surrounding 1,000 feet area to create an imprisonment. There was also a fat person among the demon generals. He was wearing green and had a giant sword behind his back. He looked at the person as he muttered to himself, "This person's current appearance is very similar to my sword spirit." Shi Xiao let out a cold snort. He didn't even move as if he was rooted to the ground. He stretched out his right hand and quickly pointed at the void. Then his hand formed a cone and he stabbed forth. At the moment he pointed at the void, strands of demonic spiritual energy flew out from his body and fused with the cone he had formed with his fingers. At the moment the fat man arrived, Shi Xiao's right hand stabbed forward. The cone created by his fingers broke through the celestial mist created by the fat man, like an angry dragon, and landed directly between the fat man's eyebrows. Xiao was too fast. The fat man let out a roar as the powerful impact from his body dissipated under the power of the cone. Then his expression changed and he immediately backed up. Bang! 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 As he backed up, the ground beneath him shattered. Then the fat man backed up 3 steps and crossed dozens of feet. With every step, blood and flesh would explode from his body. After taking 3 steps back, his entire body exploded into pieces of flesh that scattered all over the square. 5 thin threads came out from the pieces of flesh and fused with Xiao's body. There is no life and death battle between demon generals, but you foreigners are just here to be killed. Xiao withdrew his hand. He didn't even look at the flesh on the ground. Instead, his eyes became cold as he looked at Mo Lihai. Mo Lihai, do you dare to battle with me? After he said that, a burst of discussion came from the people watching. The simulation from the bloody scene had awakened everyone's spirits. Mo Lihai looked at Xiao and calmly said, I lost to Mo Fei, so I won't be joining the demon general competition. Xiao's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Mo Lihai for a long time. Finally, his eyes moved away from Mo Lihai and to Wang Lin, and he grinned. You, come here and play with me. Wang Lin didn't even look at Xiao and calmly said, I'm not interested in a battle where I can't kill. Xiao let out a cold snort. The golden-armored man coldly looked at Wang Lin before shouting, Demon General Xiao, you have won this battle. According to the rules, you can't challenge anyone else this round. Xiao looked at Wang Lin and walked toward him. When he passed by Wang Lin, he whispered, Since Mo Lihai doesn't dare to fight, I'll kill you to vent my anger for back then. Wang Lin didn't even look at him, and his expression remained calm. The golden-armored man pointed at Wang Lin and said, You, come out. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he walked out and stood on the square. If no one challenges within 10 breaths of time, I'll appoint someone. After the golden-armored man finished speaking, he closed his eyes. A gentle breath flew past the square and blew away the dust, causing clothes to flap in the wind. Wang Lin's white robe flowed due to the wind, making him even more elegant. Standing on the square, Wang Lin looked up at the sky with a completely calm expression. It was as if everything before him didn't really matter, and he was just a passerby. Soft sounds of discussion came from the people watching as Wang Lin stepped onto the square. Mo Lihai isn't coming out, and although he is Mo Lihai's helper, it will be very difficult for him to achieve victory in the end. This person is very arrogant, but he didn't dare to accept Demon General Xiao's challenge. Ridiculous. As an outsider to our demon spirit land, it is best not to be too arrogant, or else the only path for you is death. It looks like this person still doesn't understand his place. As people debated, the Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief on the northern seating area let out a soft snort. There was one person sitting behind him. This person was middle-aged and was wearing blue armor. His appearance was very plain, but he gave off a sense of majesty. After this person heard the Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief snort, he turned his head and asked, Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief, you know this person? Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief was gloomy as he shook his head and said, I don't know him. After pausing for a bit, he continued, but this person can definitely place top 3, maybe even number 1 would not be difficult. The middle-aged man was startled before turning his head to carefully look at Wang Lin and saying, this person's cultivation level is only at the cultivator's peak of the late stage of soul transformation. I'm afraid it won't be that easy for him to place first. Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief coldly snorted and said, Yellow Vice Commander-in-Chief, how about we make a bet? If that person doesn't place first, then I'll give you my Vice Heavenly Omen flag, but if that person gets first place, you will give me your Xian pill." The middle-aged man chuckled and said, "Okay. I want to see what is so special about this person to make Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief so confident." The Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief sneered and thought to himself, "If you had been seriously injured by him, you would be this confident too." Just at this moment, a person quickly walked out from among the demon generals. He was wearing an earth-colored suit of armor, and although he looked motionless, he quickly appeared within 1,000 feet of Wang Lin. "I hope fellow colleague will be courteous and not fight with me for the position of challenger." This person's laughter filled the air. He was very proud and his laughter revealed his confidence. Demon General Aodi. I should have guessed he would appear in this battle. This person is only considered to be in the middle of the pack among demon generals, but he is extremely good at taking advantage of a good situation. Although he is a bit shameless at times, this opportunity is perfect. As long as he wins against this cultivator, that means he has beaten Mo Lihai. Also, since Mo Lihai can't fight, he only needs to win one battle to get past the first round. No wonder he is asking to be courteous. After he said those words, many of those demon generals revealed expressions of watching a good show. However, a few of the demon generals had different expressions, and Mo Fei was one of them. Mo Fei quietly stood there as he coldly looked at Wang Lin with a calm expression. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze from looking at the sky. He glanced at Aodi before shaking his head and saying, "You aren't a match for me." Aodi was startled before letting out a mad laugh, then he leaped forward and laughed some more. "Arrogant person, let me see if you are qualified to be arrogant." After he spoke, he took a step and immediately disappeared without a trace. At the moment he disappeared, Wang Lin's expression didn't change at all, and he wasn't the least bit surprised. He raised his right foot and took a step forward. The ground shook violently. Waves of fluctuations spread out with Wang Lin's feet as the center, and a crazy amount of celestial spiritual energy spread out following the shockwaves. At this moment, it was as if the earth Wang Lin had stepped on was the magma from hell. With that step, the earth shattered and countless columns of magma shot into the sky. Each pillar of magma was like a red sword piercing the sky. Aodi was forced out from the ground 50 feet away from Wang Lin, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. This earth escape technique was used in cooperation with his life-linked demonic beast, so even if his enemy had used a spell to collapse the ground, it shouldn't have been this easy to force him out. In fact, he should have been able to change his strategy and attack from the side when Wang Lin used that spell. Also, the most important part was that this 10,000-foot square was filled with countless restrictions, so if one wanted to make the ground collapse, it was at least 10 times harder in here than it was outside. He was even moving around carefully while using the earth escape technique. When Shixiao was battling, he was carefully studying the best route to use. But at this moment, he didn't have much time to think. As he floated in the air, Wang Lin's gaze was like a sharp sword aimed directly at him. When he saw that gaze, his scalp suddenly went numb and a bad feeling appeared in his heart. He didn't hesitate to quickly back up, and his right hand quickly reached for his forehead. However, at this moment, Wang Lin took one step and immediately appeared before him. His hand was covered by a grey symbol as he grabbed Aodi's right hand. Aodi's expression changed greatly. Wang Lin's hand was like a pair of hot, iron tongs. He tried to break free, but was shocked when he found he couldn't. After letting out a low roar, he bit the tip of his tongue and shot a blood sword at Wang Lin. The moment this blood sword appeared, it released waves of demonic spiritual energy and turned into a dragon turtle. The dragon turtle let out a roar and tried to devour Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes were still calm. Before the blood sword even closed in on him, it was met with countless layers of life seals. After it passed through 800+ layers, the blood sword lost all its power. At the same time, Wang Lin injected celestial spiritual energy into Aodi's right hand. The celestial spiritual energy surged through Aodi's body and quickly destroyed all of the meridians in its path. Stop! Just at this moment, the man in golden armor responsible for the Demon General competition opened his eyes and revealed a cold gaze. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Not only did he not stop, but he sent out even more celestial spiritual energy to destroy the already destroyed meridians once more. Then he let go and Aodi's body was thrown far away due to inertia. As Aodi flew through the air, there were sounds of explosions coming out from his body, and a large amount of blood mist burst out of his body. Pain, massive pain. This was the only feeling he felt. The demonic spiritual energy in his body resisted the celestial spiritual energy like crazy. The process of the two energies fighting it out made it feel like he was going through hell. The Xian Vice Commander-in-Chief sucked in a breath of cold air. This scene reminded him of when he fought Wang Lin. Seeing Aodi was like seeing himself from back then. You dare! The golden-armored man reached into the sky and a golden light from the sun quickly gathered in his hand. The sunlight quickly condensed into a golden spear, and at this moment, it was as if he was holding the sun in his hand. Then he threw it at Wang Lin. Wang Lin didn't even look at the golden lance as he took a step and disappeared. He grabbed Aodi, who was in the air once more, and shook him violently. Aodi felt like he was hit by a powerful force, when a surge of energy entered his body through his right hand and caused a series of crackling sounds. All of his bones separated from his flesh before they shattered into pieces. The pain coming from all over his body now was several times more intense than when his meridians were destroyed. Wang Lin let go of his hand and Aodi fell to the ground, kicking up some dust on impact. Aodi no longer had a future, but he didn't die. After doing all of this, Wang Lin suddenly turned around and his hand formed a seal. Life seals began to gather at his right hand, and at this moment, the golden lance closed in. The power of this lance was extremely shocking. It seemed as if it would pierce the heavens. At the moment it was sent flying, Wang Lin felt that it had locked onto him. When it closed in, Wang Lin's eyes lit up like they did when he was deducing a restriction. He revealed a determined look as his palm hit the lance. This palm caused the lance to buzz, then he hit it once more with his other palm. Both palm hits were in different positions, and then he moved his body, causing the lance to pass by him. Wang Lin withdrew his right hand as he coldly looked at the man in golden armor and said, "What is the meaning of this, my lord? Do you intend to break the rules?" Although Wang Lin's expression was calm, he was extremely vigilant. That golden lance was very powerful. The golden-armored man gave Wang Lin a meaningful look before squeezing his right hand. The golden lance that passed by Wang Lin trembled as it shattered into specks of sunlight and disappeared. At this moment, the surroundings were extremely silent, and everyone was completely dumbfounded looking at this incredible scene. The people here couldn't believe that a demon general was just beaten like this by an outsider. Although he didn't die, all of his meridians and bones were shattered. A person like this was a waste. There was no way the demon emperor would be willing to give him the very precious sky demon pill, because even for a commander-in-chief, they would need countless exploits to get one. How could Aodi, a mere demon general, get this pill? If this Aodi had lost after a fierce battle, these people would be able to accept it, but this battle was decided in an instant. This moment shattered their pride as people of the demon spirit land. It has to be said that aside from very few occasions, a demon general had never been beaten into this state. As for one being beaten like this by a foreigner, this was the first time. Many surprised gazes that were also filled with killing intent gathered on Wang Lin. Sounds of heavy breathing came from the demon generals on the side of the square. Their gazes toward Wang Lin had completely changed. This person is very strong. A person among the demon generals who gave off a dark aura stared at Wang Lin, and his eyes were filled with battle intent. He was the demon general that cultivated the path of slaughter, Yu Sen. Interesting. I didn't expect Mo Lihai to have this incredible of a backup. I don't know how many he could withstand if I were to use the 7 demon spell. Among the demon generals, there was a black-haired man. He touched the ring on his finger and revealed a faint smile. Ruthless. The Xian vice commander-in-chief clenched the armrest, and his heart was in turmoil. The 8 commander-in-chiefs all focused their attention on Wang Lin. One of them was wearing a green shirt. He looked very graceful, and he looked at Wang Lin with a hint of admiration. He acts very cleanly and efficiently without wasting any time. This child is pretty good. Chen Dao was standing beside Shi Xiao and was staring at Wang Lin. This junior apprentice brother of his was very different from before. He was much more powerful. It could be said that he was powerful to the point of being terrifying. Wasting AODI was only secondary. What shocked Chen Dao the most was that palm that Wang Lin had sent at the golden lance. Chen Dao was very clear about what that golden lance was. He had heard from the All-Seer before that there was a spell that could harvest the power of the sun and condense it into a liquid. The All-Seer praised this spell a lot. Although the golden armored man hadn't reached the cultivation level to turn the energy from the sun into liquid, that attack truly contained the power of the sun. Chen Dao believed that although he could use his palm to make it move a little, changing its direction completely with just 2 palms like Wang Lin did was extremely difficult. This was not a matter of cultivation level or celestial spiritual energy, this was a type of calculation, a type of deduction. If he was in this state, when we battled for the position of true disciple, even though I would win, I would be seriously injured and have go into closed-door cultivator for 100 years. There is even a chance my cultivation level would fall. Chen Dao took a deep breath and looked at Wang Lin with a complex expression. The person that was most happy among everyone was, of course, Mo Lihai. He couldn't hide the smile on his face, and he felt that his decision back then was really wise. With our current relationship, we won't be enemies in the future. The stronger this Wang Lin is, the higher chance I have. However, the Golden Chief is being a bully right now. If there is a day that I become a commander-in-chief, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. A cold snort echoed across the square. This snort echoed across the square like a bolt of lightning. This thunderous echo caused the majority of people to focus their gazes on the person who let out the cold snort. The golden armored man pointed at Wang Lin and shouted, "You know that anyone that kills a demon general will be killed. Seeing that demon general AODI isn't dead, I'll spare you once. AODI's helper, come out." The 2 crowds on the 2 sides were completely silent before a weak voice said, "I give up." The golden armored man's eyes were gloomy as he looked at Wang Lin and said, "You won this round. Stand down." Wang Lin didn't speak and walked through the demon generals. As he walked through, some of the demon generals before him subconsciously stepped back, making a path for him. When Wang Lin arrived by Mo Lihai's side, Mo Lihai's eyes lit up and he softly said, "Brother Wang Lin, don't worry about this golden chief, he is only a eunuch. If the demon emperor really favors you, what is he?" Wang Lin faintly smiled, but didn't speak. At this moment, deep inside the palace inside the Imperial Sword Pavilion, the Emperor's sword was inside the formation releasing bursts of sword hymns. Because it was also in the Imperial City at the moment Wang Lin attacked, it felt the same feeling that made it furious. In its anger, it flew out from the ground, and was about to charge in and destroy that person like how it destroyed Hong Prison countless times. However, just as it flew into the air, it began to hesitate. After all, the Demon Emperor had told it to be quiet for a few days, and not appear during the Demon General competition, or else it would be sent to the Dragon Lake. Thinking about this, the Emperor's sword let out a few frustrated sword hymns, and the tip of the blade pointed at the Sky Demon Gate. After struggling for a long time, it finally moved and turned into a girl about 20 years old. This girl had crystal-clear eyes and was extremely beautiful. She landed on the ground and immediately kicked her feet many times. Every time she kicked her feet, there would be a flash of sword energy. Many places in the sword pavilion were destroyed, because only after destroying them did some of her anger finally ease a bit. At this moment, her eyes turned. The Demon Emperor isn't allowing the Emperor's sword to leave, but I'm the sword spirit, so it should be okay. It should be fine. Okay, I won't attack. I'm just going to get a good look at the despicable food and remember his aura to make it easier to find him. Yes, that shouldn't be a problem. The girl blinked a few times before flying out of the sword pavilion and charging directly at the Sky Demon Gate. When she was about to arrive at the 10,000-foot square, her body turned into nothingness, and she landed on top of the roof of a nearby building and looked down. At the moment she appeared on top of the palace, 8 gazes seemed to casually look over. The girl's body trembled and then she stuck out her tongue. The 8 gazes were from the 8 commander-in-chiefs. Several of them revealed faint smiles. Wang Lin was watching the rest of the Demon General competition, when he suddenly felt something. He had a connection with Liguo, who was inside the Celestial Sword. After all, Liguo was personally refined by Wang Lin. At this moment, Liguo wasn't obediently staying inside the bag of holding, but shouting in Wang Lin's mind in a very excited tone. "Master! Let me out, my spring is finally here. Quickly, let me out." Wang Lin said in his mind, "What's the matter? Master, do you still remember that Emperor's sword that has been looking for you? At first I didn't pay attention to it, but I just found out that the sword spirit is such a pretty little girl." Wang Lin's body trembled, then he interrupted Liguo's words and asked, "Here?" Liguo proudly said, "She is on top of the palace over there." "Master, you won't be able to see her, only I can." After he finished speaking, he suddenly shivered and remembered Wang Lin's title as a fiend, then he quickly said, "This has nothing to do with cultivation. I am able to see her, because I have learned a trick sword spirits can use from Little Black Blade." He said that high-quality sword spirits can feel others like us even when we're inside a bag of holding. However, this is only if the other spirit has left their sword. Liguo obviously knew what Wang Lin was thinking, so he immediately said, "Master, you have to be fast. She is about to look over here." "Master can reset assured. Little Black Blade has taught me a trick that allows me to hide my sword aura, so that no one else can see me. So you can rest assured." Wang Lin frowned as he slapped his bag of holding and opened a small gap. No one noticed Liguo's appearance. It was as if he was an invisible ghost. He turned into a cloud of smoke and flew toward the top of the palace. "Hee, little beauty, your grandpa Shu." Brother Shu is coming." "My grandma, how many years has it been since I had fun with the great beauty? Since that great beauty was ruined by Wang Lin, I'll definitely not let this little beauty go." Liguo let out an obscene smile as he pounced toward the girl on top of the palace. The girl was about to look for that despicable food among the crowd when she looked dumbfoundedly at Liguo, who was coming at her in a threatening manner. This completely startled her. Seeing the little beauty's surprised look, Liguo felt proud and pounced at her. The girl gave him a stare, as she threw a kick and a ray of sword energy immediately flew out at Liguo. Liguo let out a mischievous smile and said, "We are both sword spirits, so there is no need to be so cold." With that, his body turned into a mist, allowing the sword energy to pierce through. The next instant, his body reformed and pounced at the girl once more like an evil wolf. The girl viciously stared at Liguo. She no longer had time to find that food and immediately flew away. Liguo let out a laugh and quickly followed. Then the two sword spirits quickly disappeared into the palace. Little beauty, just follow older brother. If you follow big brother, I promise you will have a good life. Don't think I'm ugly. I even have a little brother, he is called Little Black. The reply he got was a ray of sword energy. Oh? Little beauty, you seem to have a temper, but that's no problem. Your big brother Shu likes those are that vicious. My master once said that the more vicious the little girl is, the more pretty her waist is. A ray of sword energy flew at him, and following this sword energy there was an angry cry. Your master is nothing good. Scram. Ah, you dared to scold master. Little Black, did you hear that? It is not that I want you to help me with my personal affair. I want you to fix her impression of master, so I have to ask you to help. Help me capture her. I'm going to have a good talk with her. His answer was one strand after another of sword energy. As the sword energy flew through the sky, it was accompanied by Liguo's obscene laughter. Although both were sword spirits, Liguo was originally not her match, but with Little Black's help, they were equal, so neither could win against the other. In addition, Liguo's current excited state also gave him a lot more momentum, and allowed him to perform far beyond his capabilities. Before I was turned into a devil by that fiend, I was also a bully. Ah, it has been a very long time since those good times from back then. Now that I finally found you today, beauty, don't run. But Liguo's obscene smile suddenly stopped, and he let out a roar. Shameless. You went back into your sword. I, Liguo, will be back. Inside the sword pavilion, the Serpentine Emperor sword raged and destroyed things in the sword pavilion. It wanted to rush out many times to kill that shameless bastard, but in the end it refrained from doing so. That shameless sword spirit is more spiteful than that despicable food. The day quickly passed by. There were 6 more rounds, and Wang Lin won 3 more battles. The demon generals had no help in 2 of the battles, so he only needed to win 1 fight to win each one. Liguo also came back to Wang Lin's bag of holding earlier. It wasn't certain if the girl sword spirit was scared off by Liguo's harassment. After turning to the sword, she didn't come out anymore. After the first day of the demon general competition ended, the various demon generals returned to their homes. This round will last for 7 to 10 more days. Fortunately, winners don't have to go, so Wang Lin was given a short period of time to rest. The competition between the demon generals and slaughter between cultivators was not something Wang Lin wanted to see every day. He'd rather not think about this matter, and preferred to go listen to the zither music while drinking wine. It was much more relaxing and carefree. Compared to Wang Lin, Mo Lihai's mentality was not as good. He would go to the competition every day, and record any spells he thought were worth noting. Then every night, he would give the information to Wang Lin. All of his hopes were on Wang Lin. During these days, Wang Lin's heart was completely immersed in the music to help him find his Tao. He has been listening to this music for a while now, but he has always listened as a passerby who savored the taste of the zither music. As for Liguo, after meeting the sword spirit maiden, he would endless talk about it to Wang Lin. He simply wanted Lin to release him, so he could go meet the little beauty. On this day, the boat hadn't arrived yet, and Wang Lin was lying on the side of the river while holding the wine jug. He looked up at the white clouds in the sky, and in his eyes, the clouds seemed to be undergoing a change. Many people often think that clouds are ethereal objects, but just like the zither music, they aren't nothingness. It is the human heart that is ethereal. If the heart couldn't be moved, then the clouds would be fixed, and if the heart isn't scared, then the zither music goes away. Wang Lin took a sip of wine. His eyes were filled with confusion. Ascendant, ascendant. How can I make it so my domain meets the requirements to reach the ascendant stage? At nascent soul stage, one comprehends one's domain to reach the soul formation stage. At the soul formation stage, one makes their domain real to reach the soul transformation stage. At the soul transformation stage, one can fuse their domain with their body, but it still isn't enough to reach the ascendant stage. My domain has already fused with my body, and my Tao heart was completed the moment Wan went to sleep. However, I'm still missing a step. What exactly is this step? Everyone comprehends different domains and thus all have different Tao, so it is impossible to ask. Even if I were to ask, it would actually be disadvantageous, as it could lead me down the wrong path. I can only cultivate by myself and comprehend it by myself. The confusion in his eyes became even stronger, but just at this moment, Liguo's hysterical voice entered his brain. Master, let me out. That little beauty hasn't seen me for a long time, and must miss me greatly. Master, do you have the heart to break a blessed couple up? Ah, master, let me out. Wang Lin frowned. This Liguo had been going on endlessly throughout these past few days, so he sealed the connection between them. After a few days of silence, Liguo actually broke the seal and began shouting once more. Wang Lin, back then you forced me and the great beauty apart, and now you are trying to forcibly separate me and the little beauty. What is in your heart? You must be jealous. Yes, you are jealous of my lucky encounters with love. There was a hint of pride in Liguo's angry voice. Wang Lin's eyes became cold. Although Liguo was loyal, the premise was that Wang Lin was several times stronger than him. And Liguo's new master must be weaker than Wang Lin, or at least not too much stronger, or else Liguo's loyalty would immediately disappear. The giant demon clan ancestor was a good example. If it was changed to someone like the All-Seer, Ling Qianhu, or the blood ancestor, Liguo would immediately sell Wang Lin out. Aside from this shortcoming, this devil also had another problem. Once it met a woman, it would change into a completely different person. Wang Lin thought that this was fixed after all these years, but it looked like he was still the same. However, Liguo was naturally timid, so if he didn't have backing, he wouldn't dare to speak to Wang Lin like this. It seemed like Liguo had hidden a lot of things after they left planet Suzaku. The coldness in Wang Lin's eyes increased. Liguo didn't notice Wang Lin's state of mind and continued to chatter on and on. Wang Lin, when you took the great beauty away from me, I thought you had some great use for her, but HMPH, my poor great beauty was used as an adultery prop for you and that slut, Liu Mai. Wang Lin calmly said, You've said enough. Enough? That's not enough. Let me out so I can find the little beauty, and then it will be enough. Liguo's voice became somewhat weak. He vaguely felt like something he said had ticked this fiend off, but after thinking about the spells he had learned during this time, his courage suddenly increased. Just as Liguo was about to continue, Wang Lin slapped his bag of holding and the celestial sword flew out. Liguo let out a happy cheer, and immediately came out of the celestial sword. A thick, black gas turned into a black mist before it turned into Liguo. He let out a laugh, and was about to fly straight to the imperial palace. However, just at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes became cold, and his right hand reached out and grabbed the celestial sword. He wiped his hand over the sword and the sword released a burst of light and trembled. Liguo immediately turned toward Wang Lin and shouted, Wang Lin, what are you doing? Wang Lin coldly looked at Liguo. This gaze was like a pot of cold water being poured over Liguo, and he immediately awakened from his lust. Wang Lin's gaze immediately reminded Liguo of the day Wang Lin refined him into a devil. Then various scenes of these past several hundred years flashed through his mind. This is a fiend. What isn't he willing to do? He killed the entire Ting family, and he killed countless people on planet Suzaku. Shu Liguo trembled. Mars Master, Shu Liguo immediately revealed a smile to please. Wang Lin coldly looked at Shu Liguo. The more Wang Lin acted like this, the more scared he became. Various scenes of Wang Lin's past slaughters emerged in his heart. I gave you the body of a devil, let you rise up to a sword spirit, and let you stay in the celestial sword to protect yourself. Wang Lin's voice was calm, but when it entered Shu Liguo's ears, he couldn't help but secretly curse. Now I'm going to take it back. Wang Lin's left hand swiped past the celestial sword, and Shu Liguo let out a miserable groan. His entire body trembled when Wang Lin wiped his connection to the flying sword. Shu Liguo's body immediately turned into a cloud of black fog. At the moment Wang Lin cut him off from the celestial sword, he felt the killing intent he hadn't felt for hundreds of years. My grandma, this is real killing intent. This fiend wants to kill me. Shu Liguo let out a scream and wanted to immediately escape. After he helped Wang Lin with the giant demon clan ancestor, he hadn't felt this killing intent that followed him for most of his life. A tiger is still a tiger, no matter docile it becomes, it will never become a cat. Shu Liguo bitterly smiled in his heart, as he remembered this old proverb from his hometown. Shu Liguo was just about to escape, but Wang Lin's eyes became cold and countless restrictions appeared before Shu Liguo. Then Shu Liguo let out a scream, before his body turned into a ray of sharp sword energy. He managed to break through the restrictions Wang Lin placed and shot off into the distance. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed and he revealed a sneer. This Shu Liguo really had concealed a lot, like the ability to turn into a sword. This was something he definitely didn't know back in planet Suzaku. This video will end here.